11.
This is an interview done by Justin Bowling of Sam Strong, my great grandfather.
Yeah.
Question was?
I want to ask you, Sam, tell us your birth date.
November 12, 1927.
Where were you born?
At Sulphur Gap. Right down the road there a little bit, Sulphur Gap.
Who are your parents?
My parents are Sam Strong, and Sam and Letha, L.E. Letha Raleigh. Her maiden name was Raleigh before she was married to my dad. And I had 12 brothers and sisters. And
Where did you live?
where did I lived with my parents.
Your parents.
Because don't forget, right.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I had 12 brothers and sisters, 6 brothers and 6 sisters.
Wow. What do you do to stay busy every day?
Well, I've been reading these word search puzzles. You know, that's about all I've been doing to pass the time away.
Where did you go to school?
Where
did you go to school?
Let's see. I went to school at Sulphur Gap, a grade school. I went 8 years to grade school at Sulphur Gap here, and after grade school I went to Breathitt High School one year.
How much education did you have?
I just told you.
Well,
I think I had 21 hours college credit.
What?
And
well, what are you best?
I had
Just a minute, why you say?
grade school and high school.
What are you?
But my education, Justin, was unique. Actually, I mean, today you wouldn't hear of it. When I come out of the Army, I went signed up to go to high school, and they gave me the privilege of choosing what grade I wanted to take. Junior, let's see, freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior. They wanted to know which grade I wanted to take. They let me pick it, so I picked the junior year, third year high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I went 1 year to Breathitt High, and then I got my diploma.
Wow,
From high school.
that's
You
amazing.
see, I mean, that's unreal.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the way it happened. And after I finished, let's see, actually, I taught school 1 year, I think, before I went to high school.
What are your best memories of growing up as a child with friends and entertainment?
Well, best memory, it was being with the rest of my family, you know, the family environment, and being with my brothers and sisters, and we played all kinds of games, you know. But them was great days.
How did your family survive going through the Great Depression?
We made it fine through the Great Depression.
That's good.
We had our own, growed our own food on the farm. We live on the same farm here. I lived on the same farm that we live on now. And we grow the food that we eat. We raised hogs and chickens and had our own cow milk, you know, fresh milk and butter. And we had our own cornmeal for bread. We had it ground into meal. And we had meat and eggs and fresh milk. Everything was fresh. It wasn't no old stuff. We had our own fresh eggs and milk and butter and whatever. But some people didn't have it too good. If they didn't own the farm to raise stuff on, they had it pretty bad.
What was your transportation as you were growing up?
We were riding a horse and a mule.
Horse and a mule?
Horseback, yeah. If you didn't have a horse to ride or a mule, you had to walk. We didn't have any cars, trucks, no highway.
So you mentioned you were in the military, I think. How long were you in the military and where were you stationed in?
Well, yeah, that's another thing that's hard for some people to understand. When I I was drafted into the Army in 1950. December 1st, 1950. And I had the military basic training at Fort Knox, 13 weeks. And then after my basic training, they shipped us to Aberdeen Proving Grounds in Maryland. And that's where I finished the rest of my term. And going to school, military school, artillery, military school. And I stayed 9 months. During that time, my dad and mom didn't have any boys left at home to help them work, and so they Mom checked with the Red Cross, and they put in for my discharge, called hardship discharge, and they accepted it. It went through, and so I was discharged. And I stayed 5 years in active reserve, and I was discharged in '55, I think it was.
You were discharged in 55?
What?
You were discharged in 1955?
Yeah.
You know, Darlene, what I
Yeah, that's what you told him, yeah. 1955.
Yes. Well, tell me about an interesting job that you had away from home.
Well, I think it was about 17 years old when I went to Ohio, Middletown, Ohio, got that job. And so I worked there a while, then I went from there to Dayton, or well, I guess it's Cincinnati. Then I went to Dayton and worked. Got married in '54, and I worked in Cincinnati, I think, when I got married. I was 27 years old when I got married.
Was that
What about where you worked in Iowa or Idaho with the potatoes?
That was in 45, 46. I went to Idaho and worked on a potato farm where they raised these potatoes. I worked on the farm, and that was an interesting job, really. That's the most interesting job I can remember.
Well, why'd you like it so much? Why did you like it so much?
Well, of course, it was on the farm, you know, and I was used to that, being on the farm. So I fit in pretty well that way. And it was just, everything was different. It was a different environment. The weather was different. And even in, let's see, it's August, I think it's August, September. In Idaho, they was having big frosts at night. It was cold. Got cold at night. But then in the daytime, it warmed back up to about 80. And that sun was real warm. But at night, it would frost. Cold. We were about 5,000 feet elevation. So that made a difference. The elevation, you know.
So you mentioned that you were married. You said at age 27, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Who did you marry?
What?
Who did you marry?
Who did I marry?
Mm-hmm.
Sally Margaret Richardson. She lived down Haddix community. That's where she lived. So I met her at church, and that's where we got acquainted, and it led to a marriage, and that has lasted now for 66 years.
How many?
Still going.
Mm-hmm. How many children did you two have
We
together?
had 7.
7.
Yeah. Had 7 children. David, our oldest one, he's been gone. He died in 14, wasn't it, darling?
Yeah.
26th of June, 2014. The rest of them are all good health.
Well, how has being a Christian influenced your life?
What?
How has being a Christian influenced your life?
A Christian, you know, it seemed like the Holy Spirit just moved in my life and guided me. That you know, if you look around, you can see that the creation that had to be a God somewhere, and so in the, I think it's 40. Let's see, 49. I don't remember the year, but I was baptized down here at the mouth of Howard's Creek there. And soon after that, we got to Sally and me, my wife, we decided the Lord wanted us to do some kind of work, so we started a Sunday school class and we had Sunday school and got the children in the communities and to teach them the Bible. We felt like the Lord had led us to do that, teach these children, and that's what we did. And we've done that for about 60 years, I guess, or more.
How has the world changed most you have seen in your lifetime? How has it changed?
Right here,
How has the world changed most you have seen in your lifetime?
well, it's had a negative impact on. I mean, it seems like nothing has been right about the way the world has changed. The people have changed. They're not like they used to be when I grew up. They're not like they used to be. Of course, Gail, she remembers the difference in people, the way they grew up then and now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They had a lot of respect for each other. Nowadays, they don't have no respect.
They don't.
The young generation especially is outrageous. No, they don't believe in law and order, and of course that's going to be the downfall of our country. So people changed. You know, like this book I wrote,
At Rest Among Thorns. What is the book about?
it was about the life and times of Captain Bill Strong. Captain Bill was my great-grandfather, just like I'm your great-grandfather. He was my kinfolk. And David, he wanted to try to find out the truth as near as we could about the story of Captain Bill. And So he joined in with me, and he done the research on Captain Bill's life. I wrote the manuscript. I wrote the book, and David did all the research about Captain Bill's life. And verse
Number 13.
13, question 13.
It says, "What is the most important accomplishment you feel you have made in your life?"
You know, I feel like that the Lord has blessed me to be an example to my children and raise them up in the fear of the Lord. And so that's what we tried to do. And Sally and me both have tried to do that. And the Lord has blessed us with that. As Darlene, she can agree that she's been in church most of her life.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, what advice would you give to young people that are my age or younger?
Well, the problem with our nation today is a spiritual problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's not physical, but it's spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
If they would turn to God, if the people, if our leaders would turn to God and trust Him to lead them in the right way, I think that would be the advice I would give. Without that, Justin, there won't be much hope.
Well, it's good talking to you.